Hey guys, Obito, Madara Uchiha here, just letting you know we're gonna go to my dream world now, alright? So if you gotta take a poop, if you got a stomachache, you can just come to my dream world and it'll be alright, okay? Alright guys? So come on, let's go now.
So after Naruto 606, I have one big question. Instead of reviving Madara and doing everything that Obito ultimately will do, why didn't he just use RinneTensei to revive Rin and call it a day? If that was his big dilemma, one of his big gripes. Alright, so this particular chapter, things slowed down quite a bit compared to last chapter's bloodbath. Things was crazy last chapter. Things slowed down. And we do get a couple of different answers in here, and a couple of different things are revealed, but it definitely is a lot slower than the last couple chapters. Basically, in this chapter, takes place from where the last one left off. Obito's there, sobbing over Rin, and it's kind of interesting to see how he couldn't even control his powers. His hand goes through her neck when he's trying to hold her and pick her up. And honestly, like, these events pretty much show the madness of Obito, and somebody could easily simplify it. Yes, it's just basically over a girl, but it's a lot more than that. He is pretty much living the definition of life is not fair. You gotta understand, first of all, he went through that entire accident. His body, half his body is gone. He's living off of some cells of some beast. His mind is messed up already. He's thinking, why is life so unfair? But then he finally trains up to get out of there and go meet up with his friends. And he finds one of his best friends killing another his best friend in cold blood. So I understand the madness after all this. I understand the madness in Obito. Why didn't he ask questions, though? That's a big mystery. Like, you could ask questions. Maybe something, things weren't what they appeared to be. So that's a big thing as well. But in this particular chapter, one of the big things is we get confirmation that the Ghetto Mazo is indeed an incomplete Jubi, or I guess the shell of what the Jubi was. And basically Madara resurrected it through the moon. It was like locked, and we learned a couple different things, like Madara, he got the Rinnegan just before he was about to die at old age. So we learned a couple different things with that. I kind of always suspected, and I think everybody pretty much knew, that the Ghetto Mazo was the Jubi, basically imperfect and whatnot. So it wasn't too big of a shocker, but it was nice to get confirmation on that. We also get another big thing, learning about Black Zetsu, and that was interesting, that he is indeed Madara's will casted upon a white Zetsu. So that's why half of it is two-toned. And I just wish Black Zetsu would act more like, he's actually Madara, because if that's his will, wouldn't that kind of like be basically like some of his brain, I guess, in a way, in that sense? And that was never showcased, so that's kind of a little disappointing. And we also noticed in this chapter, a lot of people probably won't understand it, but basically if you look, it's like Obito already, a little time has passed, and Obito's about to seek out Nagato, and the old Madara, I guess, has died after a certain point. Basically, I guess he feels like he found his successor with Obito, and it's like, okay, I could die now. And apparently he dies, and right after that, Obito goes to meet Nagato with his plan. Now it's interesting because if you look at Nagato, he's walking, he seems normal. So this is before the incident with what happens to Yahiko and whatnot. So if he knew of this plan and everything, for a while now, maybe he turns down this plan. That's what my prediction is. Maybe he's going to turn Obito down, and then the things are going to, escalate to what happens where Yahiko gets killed and whatnot, and then that's when Nagato's going to go back, alright, you're right. And the thing is, that's funny, is that Obito already, that's where he started parading around that he's Madara. When he meets Nagato, he's like, I'm Madara Uchiha, which probably leads me to believe that Nagato and Itachi were probably tricked into thinking that Obito is Madara, which is a bit of a shame, because two of some of the smartest and greatest ninjas of all time tricked by this kid, but I guess he was manipulative enough to come through with it. And overall, this chapter, again, pretty slow, but still we learned some interesting tidbits, and I just like the aftermath of seeing, like, his madness continues, and at this point he don't give a crap about Kakashi. He's like, if he dies, whatever, I don't care about him no more. He's more focused on this dream world. In my opinion, he probably should have used more logic, but the thing about it is, you gotta remember, this is a kid, he's very young, impressionable, and going through all this trauma just really messed him up in the brain, because if he would have been thinking logically, he would have asked questions, he would have gotten to the bottom of things, why did you do this and whatnot, and maybe everything wouldn't have unfolded as it did. But you got Madara, you got the Zetsus, and you just got the situation that forced Obito to be and think the way he does. And again, I don't blame Obito, and I don't think that his reasons are completely like, wow, why are you doing this just because a girl died? It's a lot deeper than that. It's psychological, and that's really what I got after reading the aftermath and just seeing his character develop and seeing what Madara told him in this particular chapter. Let me know what you think. Big question of the day. Why didn't Obito just use RinneTensei, bring back Rin, and, there you go. Comment section below, video response, and your raw thoughts of the chapter, because we learned some interesting things in this chapter, and that's, I guess, the best way to put it is we learned some stuff. For NetherWorld, as always, people, have an awesome day.
You can just come to my dream world and it'll be all right.